Today's episode of the Realest Podcast Ever is brought to you by Immortal Vision Studio. Immortal Vision is Philadelphia's premier photography company specializing in capturing all the moments that make life meaningful. Proms, weddings, birthday parties, and all private events, Immortal Vision is there bringing your moments to life. And all my photographers, they also have an extensive equipment rental service and the only Airbnb for photographers in the Philadelphia region where you can book their iconic studio or private suite at an hourly rate. Visit them today at immortalvisionstudio.com or contact them on Instagram at Immortal Vision Studio. Now let's get on with the episode.
Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. They used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Realest podcast.
What up? We back. The Realest Podcast Ever. It's your boy C. Diddy. I'm flying solo today. Just had my guy Matt here with me. He had to dip, man. Working, man. Hard working, man. Got to be up early, man. 4 a.m. So I'm here on the late night burning the midnight oil with my guy. Somebody that I grew up admiring, somebody that I recently did his show. His partner's here. Shout out my guy Fred in the background, DJ Blackout. Recently did their show, man, and they gave me so much love and so much hospitality in an open forum to just talk my talk and drop some real game on this media industry and this podcast industry in a way that I haven't been able to do in a while, because we approach it on this show, it's more topical, rundown centered and stuff like that. So I appreciate these brothers for giving me a forum. But today's guest is a Philadelphia rap legend and a pioneer to the scene that helped reestablish the city as a force in the music industry after a severe down period. His unique style, flow, and amazing presence showcased the diversity of Philly MCs and created a bidding war amongst the likes of Roc-A-Fella, Ruff, Ryders, Untertainment, Def Jam, Atlantic, Sony, Epic, and every major label in the game. His insane work ethic and creativity as a member of Dutch and Spade and Major Figgas, and as a writer and a soloist, has cemented him as top 5 status in the Philly pantheon of MCs. His resume is absolutely crazy, having worked with the likes of Lil Kim, Beanie Siegel, Petey Crack, Conway the Machine, 38 Special, Lil Wayne, Cameron, Charlie Baltimore, and many, many more. Philly, Jersey, Delaware, New York, LA, Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, Detroit, the Bay Area. Welcome my brother Dutchie Man to the show.
Hey, what's happening, bro? Thank y'all for having me. You know I love you to death, C. Diddy. You know what it is.
Already know, man. You came to our event back in in December. And we pretty much been attached to the hip ever since. We talk frequently. We bounce ideas off of one another. We've, shared network opportunities and stuff like that in terms of me helping you to troubleshoot and you doing the same for me. And, you always basically letting me know, like, yo, I'm here. I'm available.
For sure.
And, we built up to, and I think the timing is perfect now, being able to get this interview done now and go through your entire history, because it's so important.
I couldn't wait, bro.
To the city of Philadelphia and beyond. Because, like I said, alluded to certain things in your intro, and it's going to get way more detailed, way more specific as we go along. But, I grew up in an era where Philly's Most Wanted, Major Figgas, Beanie Siegel, Ice City,
the culture.
The real culture, non-brigade, like all of these different, entities that were all pouring into the scene kind of simultaneously to create what it was. But prior to y'all, there was nothing for an extended amount of time.
I mean, what's crazy about that is 10 years prior to us, there was nothing.
Right.
And when I say nothing, I mean, it was a void from Will Smith to Steady B, Cool C, EST, Schoolie D. Right. All of these guys were 10 years ahead of us. So with there being that big of a void, finding a way to fill it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like which way do we go? You know what I'm saying? So none of this stuff was planned. It wasn't designed for us to, we're going to be Major Figgas or Dutch and Spade,
Right,
or
right.
it wasn't designed that way. It was more so we loved to do it. You know what I'm saying? The music, we loved it, and it just became a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Where does that love for music come from?
For me, it comes from a drum. My father would play percussion.
Okay.
And me growing up to this drum sound, I now know is what drove me to love the acoustics of music, if I could say it that way.
Got you. No, that makes absolute sense. So let's take it all the way back to the beginning. Talk to me about the formation of Major Figgas and how that entity from various parts of North Philly comes together to create arguably the biggest force we've ever seen in Philadelphia, especially when you talk about actually moving real units like CDs, cassette tapes, and all of that, like in an era where it was hard to get people to give you their money. Y'all were doing it and it was effortless.
So it's funny, South Philly, we got to put South Philly in there because Bianca's from South Philly.
Yes, absolutely.
So we definitely got to give South Philly its props. Major Figgas was put together by Bump, honestly. And Marcus Graham and different OGs in the neighborhood.
Got it.
That's the way I could say it. Bump was already, for those who don't know, Bump J is a member of Major Figgas. Bump was already with his brothers, which were the Hunters.
Got it.
Hunters. And then they had a group called Deadly Snakes. So Bump was doing shows with Biggie and all of these people as a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So Bump would have these talent shows on his block, the Ocho. I would go up to these talent shows, and for the first couple times, I would be a little nervous, because I was only rapping from my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother and I in '88, we did like our first little, I was 8 years old. My brother did. My uncle Mike, he had some studio equipment at the crib. And, ABC was out, you know what I'm saying? All these kids, Another Bad Creation, you know what I'm saying? So everybody wanted to have that child group in the family. So we would really just perform for the family, you know what I'm saying? Like me and my brother. Couple years after that, I moved up to Erie Avenue because I come from the SMS section of Philly. I started, my life started, we 4th and Diamond, then we migrated to Beirut, which is 11th Street. Then from 11th Street, I went to 1819 North 33rd.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me getting up there, I started to see what I know now to be the streets.
Right.
Right? Aaron Jones and all of these guys riding up and down 33rd Street. And I didn't know that these was these guys. I just would see these cars. Like, I'm like, who the heck is these guys that are driving these cars that look like they're on television? Then I witnessed, like, walking to school, the crime scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like the King Tut murders and things like that would come across your the news and stuff like that. And then, like I said, to know now, this is where I was growing up at.
Right.
So growing up as a kid in Section 8 housing, my mom lived in 1819 and things just wasn't working out. We had to move to the Erie Avenue section.
Got it.
So by 89, I'm up there.
Yeah.
Still working, meaning on life. Rapping. You know what I'm saying? One of my first rap partners, Fatine. You know what I'm saying? We had a group called Black Vision. I used to rap like Boot Camp Clique when I first started.
Got you.
So I was a lyrical guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't just about, I rapped about what I thought was real at the time.
Right. Real and realistic.
Yeah, what was realistic is grabbing a thesaurus, learning the biggest words I could learn, putting these joints together and making them raps.
Yeah.
So I started to record in my house. I would take one radio, play the beat, press record on the next radio, rap a verse, and that I would make my own studio in the house.
Yeah.
So I remember Jermaine Dupri had this young artist, Cardan. And
Harlem.
yeah, I forgot the record that it was, but it was doom, 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 doom,
Jam on it?
Yeah, it was Jam on it, but he did a version of Jam on it. Now, if you remember, I had a record, If My Watch Was a Rollie, Would You Like That?
Absolutely. Legendary.
That's where that record came from.
From that beat.
Yeah, but how it came about was, see, these things, I'm telling you in a story, but it's happening simultaneously. So Lava and Farrard, you know what I'm saying? Which is Gillie the Kid, they like Gil started rapping with Wallo in them. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like a Wallo situation. And you know what I mean? Wallo would bring back the tapes of DJ Clue.
Got it.
And you know, DJ Clue had like the Locks, everybody from New York that was popping.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to Lava on Erie Avenue and I rapped for him, Lava was like, you could rap, but you too philosophical. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
you need to strip down, dumb this down a little bit. Real quick, not to cut you off, was Lava always kind of like that elder statesman and that quality control person for all of Major Figgas?
Yeah. The Don. That's why we call him the Don. Everybody listens to the Don, Lava. So Kevin Hart and Lava lived in the same
building. Like a triplex, duplex.
Yeah, like Kevin Hart downstairs, Lava.
That's crazy.
Lava over there, right? So I go to Lava and him and Gil sitting on the steps. I bring Cassidy with me. At the time, he was B Cassidy. This was before he got on Cosmic Kev, like to rap on.
Yeah, when he used to do like the battles over the phone on the radio and all of that. Me and Cass went to high school together.
He hung out with my little brother.
Yeah.
So they would be, you know, just eating noodles and stuff on my porch.
Yeah.
And so we on bikes at this time.
And before he was B Cassidy, he was the Bull B, burning third degree.
Right. So we on bikes at this time.
Yeah.
I ride up. I'm like, yeah, this boy, Gil and Lava, I'm going up here, go rap for them. I go rap for them. Lava, like, you could rap, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we rapping about getting money. So I'm still doing my thing with Black Vision and, you know, still doing what I do. And I mean, Bump. And after I went to his block for the talent show, his brother said, teach him how to write 16 bars. I didn't know how to write 16 bars.
So just writing super long verses.
Just rapping. I was just bars.
23 bars.
100 something bars. It's just the rap. So battling back then was like who had the longest verse and who had the hardest shit to say.
Yeah.
Right. So they was, you know, Bump would teach me how to put these verses together. So as time lapsed and it kept going, Peanut, is this guy named Peanut, had a studio on 20th Street.
Okay.
So they call it 2020 Studios. His address was 2020.
Right.
So Gil and them were recording there, and Bump and everybody else would record. You know what I'm saying? We just was recording. And we was just a bunch of young kids. It was Major Figgas is a you can't beat them, join them group.
Right.
Like, bottom line, that's what it is. So they would ask Bump to put together, you know, who. And Bump would go get like the who's from the neighborhood.
Got it.
And that's why one of my favorite books is Who Not How. You feel what I'm saying? Bump knew who, so we could find out how to get the money.
Right.
So, you know, in a form of not making it extended like it's an audio book, Bump introduces me to the lifestyle of rap. I knew Gil from Fatim. Fatim would go to Gil's house and they would trade polo shirts. So this is how we met.
Yeah.
Gil was like crazy in the basketball world and into the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was my old head at the end of the day. So I would go to Gil crib and, you know, he would like, yo, spit something for me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he was like, oh yeah, you could rap. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. So this one day, after Lava told me, you could rap, but you too philosophical. My next door neighbor went to Penn State. He had these books called the Rob Report. I grabbed the Rob Report. I looked in every page of this joint. And the next rap I spit for Lava was that, you know, if my watch was
lifestyle
woman,
rap.
would you like that type of shit, right? So everybody was just coming, you know what I'm saying? Coming around to the studio. And we went from 2020 studios to a studio called Nebula Zone.
Okay.
Otto was the guy that was recording us at the time. And we would just record. And that's why a lot of the earlier Major Figgas projects weren't songs with everybody on them. It was a montage of records that were created from me doing a record, Gil doing a record. Right. Then Wallo ended up going to jail.
It's like a compilation album.
Yeah, Wallo ended up going to jail. So Gil continued because our first rap group name was the Young Guns.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
And is that because of that the iconic movie from that era? Because
it was Gillie the Kid.
Yeah. So to play off Billy the Kid, the movie The Young Guns.
Like so, we did. It was a park that Belfield Park. They used to have shows. So I remember like us going to perform, and they like, well, what's y'all group name? We like, we gotta come up with a group name, Young Guns. We did that, boom, and then Wallo always had that Major Figgas name. So it like, I mean, that's how it attached to it.
Right.
You feel me? Like, so it's sporadic and everything is all over the place, but it ended up to be the best guys out of the neighborhood, which was Erie Avenue, because Gil lived right on 16th. Lava was on 15th. You feel what I'm saying? Bump was on the Ocho. I'm on Smetley Street. Rolly was on Sydneyham.
Yeah.
And then they would go down to Virginia for Bike Week and the Greek picnic and, you know what I'm saying? Just all these different things. And Bump ended up seeing Bianca down Virginia.
Got you.
Rapping. He come back, yo, I met this girl. Boom, boom, boom. She ended up being part of what was going on. So it formed like Voltron. Honestly, it formed like Voltron, bro. It wasn't planned. That's what I could tell you. None of us planned for this stuff to go this way.
So who's all the original members of Major Figgas? Once that name got stamped and it's like, all right, now it's merch. This is what we doing. This is the movement. Who all was a part of the group?
Gil, Wallo, Dirty Reek, El De Niro was the original members.
Got it.
Wallo goes to jail. Gil keeps it going. Lava, myself, Spade, and Bianca and Rolly merging.
Got it.
But we all hung out with each other.
Right.
See what I'm saying? We all from a 3 to 5 block radius.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, it's a blur.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, honestly, it's a blur. It's like you grow up with these people, and then after growing up with these people, you look back at it, and you like, damn, we did. How?
Yeah.
I still don't know how. For real, honestly. Because none of us grew up together. You feel what I'm saying? We ended up.
Y'all all found each other in y'all late teens.
So it's like, you not hotter than me. I'm going to, I'm okay, you hotter. All right, you not hotter than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what we doing?
At what point do Chops and Ruck come into the fold?
That's Bump's cousin.
Okay, got it.
They always was around.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Bump, leader of the pack. Everybody follow behind Bump with the rapping, and Bump's older brother, Mark and Yanti, which is Yanti is producing with Carvin right now. Salute to them. You know what I'm saying? They just got a Grammy nomination with one of the guy that got the #1 R&B song in the world right now. I think his name is Rob or something like that. I got to fact check the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got a #1 hit out right now. So
fire.
Yeah, man.
So through it all, it seems like in this early part of it that if I had to nail it down to, like, not saying that one person is more important than another, but Bump seems to be the driving force of all of these people coming together.
I'll give him that every day.
And then Lava is the Don as like quality control. And then everybody else kind of formed around those entities and bringing their best talent in the iron, sharpening the iron to get y'all to become what y'all ultimately became.
Yeah, because Gil really didn't. I thought Gil was going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Like when we looking at history, I thought Gil was going to the NBA. That's how we would go to the games on Sydenham Street and other games like Susquehanna Avenue and stuff like that. And Gil would be smashing them, and especially him being a great player at Franklin Learning Center at FLC. So, you know, he was playing ball. He really didn't. His passion wasn't music.
Right.
He just was good at anything that he wanted to do.
Right.
That's what Gil,
like a natural.
Yeah, Gil is a fucking natural. He looks at something and he'd be like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
And sure enough,
and
he figured it out.
Always was the idea. Wallo come up with an idea, he gonna stick to that shit.
Yeah.
He wanted to get some money. He gonna get some money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they doing what they doing now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They came up with an idea and stuck to it. I remember going to see Wallo in prison. And when I would go see him, he would tell me all of these things that he was going to do right now. Mm-hmm. And he's doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, he actualized all his ideas. And the thing is like you can't get to where you're going without the initial inspiration of the idea, because it gives you something to work towards. So it's no surprise to see, you know, him doing what he's doing, because he also had that ability to just block all of the noise out and not give a fuck what nobody was saying and just focus on his end goal and what the fuck he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah, but he got there.
Yeah.
But when it hit, it all came through. And it kind of, Wallo's situation kind of almost reminds me of like Joe Budden's situation in podcasting, because like he said, yo, my first million was so hard to make. Like I was balls to the wall doing everything I could to make this first million. He said, but by the time I finally cracked one, here go another one, here go 3, here go 5. Like people was just throwing money at me because I finally stayed the course and did the work to have that breakthrough. And he said, once I broke through, everything was $1 million plus. Like it to the point where it's like, well, damn, if I'd known it was going to be this easy, I wouldn't have stressed myself out about it.
I remember all the Joe Buttons. I remember the pump it up Joe Budden. I remember the Slaughterhouse Joe Budden. And I know the Joe Budden of
yeah.
And you got to be proud of a guy who comes from the depths of hip hop where we come from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we came from the era of no social media. So
you had to really be who you said you was. You had to really pull up in them parks and the backstage of them concerts and who nice jumping that cypher, and like you really had to be who the fuck you said you was.
That's why Beanie Sigel impressed us so much, because the guys that we knew, me knowing that Gil was such an animal, and Lava and Dirty Reek, El De Niro, Spade, Bump, Rolly, and Bianca was such animals. I didn't think it was nobody better in the city, and Most Wanted and the 9 Brigades and, you know,
journalists
and those types of people. And then you run into a Beanie Sigel and you like,
what the fuck is this?
Did this motherfucker just break Monopoly down like that? Like, you gotta remember, when you meet these people, these is the verses that they had.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Let me ask you this. Talk to me about that first come up show freestyle. Dutch and Spade, Philly's Most Wanted, Ab Lava, Bump J, Beanie Sigel, Chops and I think everybody was there except Gil. And I remember that exact night, I was at my man Rick mom crib. That's one of the houses I spent a lot of time as a teenager, grew up in. And Boo and Lit, Philly's Most Wanted, came through afterwards. And I'm like, where was Gil at? Like, because that was like a whole big thing. So set the scene for me as far as that night, what went on, and where the hell was Gil at?
I don't know where the fuck Gil was at, right? And I don't want to do no speculating.
Yeah.
But I must say, it was more so whoever could make it, made it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like if they say, all right, we about to go up to the radio station. We those were the Stevie G house guys. You feel what I'm saying? So,
56th Street, Stevie G, Dana Black guys.
Right, so the Stevie G guys were the ones who got picked, I guess, to go to the radio that time.
Got it.
I never knew we was going to end up there.
Yeah.
We don't expect these things. We rapping all day, all night. Niggas say we going to the radio. Let's go.
Right.
I got more verses. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how we end up doing that. That sets the stage for it, is that it wasn't, like I said, nothing was prompted, bro.
Right.
It was more so, you got it, display it, and do not let this motherfucker beat you. In my mind, that's what it was. So it was us against us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the stage right there.
So with that in mind, how do two North Philadelphia guys, Dutch, Spade, end up in Southwest with Stevie G, with Dana Black at this house where, and I know Cass was around, it's all of these rappers that are existing in and around this thing. And this is pre everybody getting the deal. This is what sets the scene for a million record labels to start being interested in Philadelphia. But how do y'all even connect with Stevie G, who for the record that's big cuz that's my cousin, my mentor, and somebody that I look up to.
Spade being from North Philly, deep in the hearts of North Philly, it was two guys named Siddiq and Rolla.
Mm-hmm.
So Jay-Z says in one of his records, I drop a couple off the Rolla and the PA. He talking about the original Rolla.
Yeah.
So the original Rolla knew everybody. You know what I'm saying? So during these times, Stevie G was the management team along with the Siddiq and the Rollas that could get you on.
Got it.
So his house was like a forum for hip hop.
Right.
So it's like you go down Stevie G crib, you rap. If he like you, you gonna get a deal.
Right.
We ended up there. You cypher, everybody's rapping. Me and Spade were the last two. I see Stevie G looking. He like, I'm spitting a verse, hook, Spade jump in. I spit a verse, hook, Spade jump in again. I spit a verse, Spade spit a hook, I jump in. They like, y'all a group? I'm like, nah, we ain't no group.
Yeah.
He like, well, I could take y'all to Untertainment tomorrow. Y'all a group now?
We a group.
I look at Spade, Spade look at me. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
We gave it a shot and unloved it.
So prior to that day, outside of like Major Figgas sessions and records and stuff like that, y'all hadn't really was no Dutch and Spade records prior to that.
Bro, Spade was so good, I couldn't stand him. That's how good he was.
Yeah, I hold Spade in extremely high esteem. To this day, he's still, I don't give a fuck who do what. Spade's still top 3. I don't care. He don't got a solo out. I don't care about none of that.
Bro,
because I saw his
so
ability.
Good. I used to be low key like, I cannot stand this nigga. Like how good he was.
Yeah.
Like how the fuck is you this good? And I don't know you. You feel what I'm saying? But he comes from a group, Lyrical Terrorists from Nicetown.
Mm.
So when they asked us to be the group, I'm like, me and Bump was already, you know what I'm saying, doing what we was doing, you know what I'm saying? And publicly, man, I never really apologized to Bump for
making that shift
over, but I did what I had to do.
I mean, I think Bump, just understanding the history of Major Figgas and having a bird's eye view and being around the music industry because of Stevie G, because of Philly Most Wanted and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I look at Bump like almost like an unsung hero of that era because Bump was super talented. He looked the part. He looked like a rapper. He was precise.
Man, don't nobody, let me tell you this, right? And I don't, not to cut you off, but don't nobody really give my man Bump the props that he deserves.
For sure.
You feel what I'm saying? Bump curates a lot of shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to give him his flowers while he could still smell them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for Bump, I wouldn't have been a part of none of that. I don't see everybody else's story. That be the problem. Everybody else's story don't match your story. Your life is your life. My life revolves around me rapping, meeting Bump introducing me to some crazy lyricists, and me becoming a part of something that was bigger than life at the time.
Right.
So salute to my guy B Dot.
Definitely salute to B Dot, man. Like, cause I just kind of feel like over the years he got lost in the shuffle, and it was almost like you would always hear these rumors. Oh, such and such looking at Bump, such and such looking at Bump. You know, Bump was just at such and such. He opened up for this person, da 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 da. And then when you see him, his energy is always up here, super positive, upbeat, speak to anybody, everybody. He's just a thorough, solid nigga.
He back in the lab. Last time I talked to him, he was in rugs doing what he needed to do.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What was the moment when you knew you was going somewhere with this rap music?
When I got to Un office. And Un took us over to the Hit Factory in New York. Mm-hmm. And they put them beats on. And when I rapped for Big Brother, which was Un, and the way he looked at us and said, Big would have loved y'all.
Damn, that's a hell of a compliment.
You feel what I'm saying? Big would have loved y'all. I'm going to give y'all this deal. That's when I knew, oh, this shit right hit the fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Mama, we made it. You feel what I'm saying? I was 17 years old at the time, so my mother had to sign my contract for me. So I couldn't even really become a rapper until my mom signed the contract for me. And then once she signed the contract, it was off to the races.
And I think that's another part that people don't necessarily really know or fact check about Major Figgas. It's just assumed like, oh, all of y'all same age, whatever. But like, as through this interview, you're clarifying like, I'm a little bit younger than these guys. Like I was so young, my mother had to sign my contract. Gil was my old head. So it's like, that's a theme through all of this. Like,
one thing about D-Man, I ain't got no, I don't cut no corners with that shit because at the end of the day, I don't have to. Not only am I a part, I'm a sole proprietor of Major Figgas. I helped create the groundwork that made us who we the fuck are.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So you get to Untertainment. The deal gets ratified. It's Cameron, it's Charlie Baltimore, it's Dutch and Spade. Those are the three flagship acts that we launch in this big, huge venture. 64, 68, depending on who you talk to, is a different number at the end, but they all start with 60 with this deal.
We're going to just put it at a cool $60 million.
Cool, let's put it at a cool 60, and we figure the change out at a later date or whatever like that. Once you get this deal, what does that do for you as far as like mentally and now you knowing like for the foreseeable future, this is what I'm doing. I'm a professional rap artist in the hip hop game.
Well, signing the contract. Right. Signing the contract. I don't want to fuck up y'all decor. I mean, the nice decor.
You got little Hermes, little blankets and all that.
I don't want to fuck up the Hermes blanket. But and I'm gonna get a little comfortable because this is about to get deep.
Yeah.
So signing that deal for me was like making it to the NBA. You feel me? Like, we signed a deal. You know, to sign a deal back then was like, the fuck, nigga, like we made it. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
you him.
And not to make it was not just entertainment. It was epic. So then you study epic and you see who came from these.
Michael Jackson. Just Mike. We just do one. Michael Jackson.
Right. So it's like
that's enough.
Damn. Like I'm on a label that Michael Jackson was on. So it's like, oh, I'm good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Then to meet guys like my brother Killer, Cameron, right? Then Charlie Baltimore coming from my city, and she's already the girl that I see in Biggie's video.
Yeah, that he's already implanting her as this is part of the next generation of what I'm doing.
You want to sip more on my living room floor, play Nintendo with see, and you see her.
Yeah,
and then you get to the studio, and she's there.
Yeah,
your mind is. Some people can handle it. Some people couldn't. Me and Spade can handle it.
Yeah.
So it started to. It's like, oh yeah, we on.
Yeah.
I mean, we on.
So once you get into the throes of doing what you're doing, what was some of the first sessions like over there at Untertainment as far as songs that was getting cut, directives coming from Jacob York? Like, what's the scene like at Untertainment?
Dog fight.
Mm.
It's a dog fight because we're being told that we're 30% artists.
Wow.
Now I know that's to boost the morale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, damn, I thought I was the shit. You signed me.
You said me Biggie, you love me. What's up?
Yeah, so that was, he's like, keep recording. Keep recording.
Because he's trying to mine for that hit.
Yeah. So then you got Cam dropping these crazy records. We came in right after him and Mace.
Did Horse and Carrot.
Yeah. So we
The
around.
bar is already.
Yeah. So the bar is set high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And prior to that, we spent a lot of time with Jadakiss and the Locks and Yonkers. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? To go from that stage to with this, you have to be good mentality. It's like, you got to be good.
Right.
We going to get rid of your motherfucking ass.
Yeah,
That's the way we felt. So we just made sure we raised the bar every time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What was what's really like?
Honestly, is one of the most hardest OGs that you can meet because he wants the best out of everybody he invests his money into.
Yeah.
But he loves his artists. That's what I could say. He loves the artists. The artists that were over at Untertainment, we were a family. It was Untertainment family. If you listen to the beginning of some of our freestyles, was in the beginning. Well, fuck you and the label you signed to was our slogan. We actually had t-shirts that said fuck you and the label you signed to. And when we went to the Super Bowl, when the Denver Broncos played in Miami, the Super Bowl was in Miami, we wore those t-shirts. Everybody from Untertainment.
Yeah.
And that's what Jim Jones was talking about on Drink Champs.
Gotcha.
When he said, I introduced them to the syrup game. You know what I'm saying? Like we wore those t-shirts that time.
That's crazy. So, with all of this going on, all of these, highline artists and all of that, Cam, Charlie Baltimore, who everybody in the rap game is intrigued about, and then y'all, and having a record like Where I'm From with Cam, a record with Dead Man Walking with Beans around the same time and all of that. What do you think ended up being the cause of why the original label didn't take off? Not y'all, but the label itself. Like, what fell apart to where it's no more Untertainment Epic, and then y'all end up getting shifted to another label?
It was overhead issues.
Got it.
And the constant struggle of who's the best. That and Jay-Z beef is what was the demise of Untertainment in its entirety. Bro.
Yeah,
it's no way to get around that. That Jay-Z and spat of beef was what brought that shit to a halt, bro.
So when you say that, do you mean like them having an issue in front of the camera created business issues behind the camera, where I'm guessing phone calls is getting made and deals is getting stopped, and if you with him, you against me, and all of the industry stuff?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And imagine being a young kid, an artist that just want to...
Now you stuck in label limbo because of something that don't got nothing to do with you.
All I want is a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? I just want to bring my mama home a Grammy. And I'm dealing with this stuff that I don't know what's going on because I'm not on the corporate side of it. I'm just going to the studio doing my job.
Right.
My job turns into me having to pick a side of somebody who came to Philly and looked for me. I remember being in a club one night and Jay-Z on stage recording. And, recording meaning they recording the fucking show.
Yeah.
And him screaming, yo, where Dutchie Man at? I'm sitting there. I'm like, they like, Dutch, Jay calling you on the stage. I'm like, I don't know Jay-Z. Like, he ain't calling me. That nigga performing.
Right.
I don't know him. He like, Dutch, come up here. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga really like
Right. He's adamant.
Yeah, I get on the stage. He passed me. He popped a cork on a crystal, passed me a bottle, and told me to rap. And I spit the "If my watch was a rollie, would you like that?" once again, and
yeah,
he loved that verse. You know what I'm saying? And
what club was this, if you remember?
it was in. It was right off of like 43rd Street, like around like Lansdowne area.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of these. Like it's my life has been through so many
twists
and turns that
yeah.
and the club names in Philly change.
They change. Sometimes they change. You be here on Friday and on Saturday the name different. Like
so
fucking shooting the quick little paint job, power wash, new name.
Yeah, the crazy thing is the name of the club really doesn't even have no validity.
Right.
The night.
The fact that Jay-Z was in the club is a thing, because it's like, when the last time we seen Jay in the club? I remember he did a date in Atlanta at the Velvet Room for AG Entertainment, and that shit was like a whole big ass deal, and it was like $500 general admission, $2,500 VIP. It's like, yeah, it's Jay-Z in the club. What the fuck you expect?
When Hove come out, everybody that get money come out.
Yes, everybody from a 40-year period that get money come out. Like, it's the new, young, up and coming and the established OGs that's not on the scene no more.
Hove would buy niggas watches off of this and all type. Like, he just was always different. Like, I remember those times. Like, he'd be like, "Yo, you buy that drink."
Yeah. Why do you think he has so much of an affinity for you personally, and then two, Philly MCs in general?
You know, I asked him that in Interscope, right? Because at one time, you know, the younger me was so aggressive, and I would hear similarities of my music and Jay's music.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had a meeting with Steve Stout at Interscope, and I'm gonna paint the picture vividly for you.
Yeah.
So it's a store called Missouri's on South Street. Right?
Legendary.
Right. It's a designer by the name of Jill Sonder.
Which is huge now.
Yes. Then Jill Sonder had small pieces that would be sold at Missouri's or this place called Distante on 17th and Walnut.
Yeah.
I went and grabbed all white for this meeting, and I shaved my head bald. I was on some Tupac phase. Like, I think it was Van Gogh who was in his blue phase, right?
Yeah. I
learned that from a great person.
Yeah.
Van Gogh was in his blue phase. I was in my Tupac phase at that time. I'm at Interscope.
So you went full I Ain't Mad at Your video, all white, bald head.
Listen, all white linen shit too, right? White shoes. I had some Jill Sonder white shoes. It was like I was all, so I'm getting off the elevator. At this time, all of these buildings were in the Universal building, Def Jam, Interscope. So I'm getting off the elevator to go to my meeting with Steve Stout. When I get off the elevator,
Jay standing there, Foxy Brown standing there.
And we had this odd 10th of a second moment where I looked at Hove and Hove looked at me, and he like, "Man, bro, like, you know what? I hear let's go to my office."
Yeah.
He's president of Def Jam at this time. Let's go to my office and talk. So we get in the office. He got Biggs in there. Biggs, hip hop was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And Daoud Bey was in there because we, the meeting that we had to go to, who was our manager. So we had to go.
Shout out Daoud, man.
Salute to the cool man. I told him, hip hop and Biggs, leave out the office. I want to talk to Hove in private. And I asked him, I said, "Yo, do you be stealing my shit?" Like, I just like, I was young. I'm like, he says to me, subconsciously, I I think about everybody when I'm in the studio. Meeting was over.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Bottom line, I ain't know what the fuck he was talking about. At that time, me being 18 years old.
You don't even know what that word means.
Subconscious. I'm like, what the? All right, cool, man. I shook his hand. We got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I jumped in my Benz and we left.
It's funny you tell that story because once upon a time, I think it was Mr. Man Lit from Philly's Most Wanted told me he was in the studio with Jay. And Jay had it was like 10 rappers in the studio and everybody rapped and he went around the room and they got to the end and niggas was like, yo, Jay, you got some new shit? Like, what's up? Let us hear something. He said, yeah, I do. I stole a bar from you. I stole 2 bars from you. I stole a half a bar from you. You said some cool shit. By the time y'all see me again, y'all gonna hear all y'all shit.
We did a record. So what was crazy, right? Jay was handpicking us before state property, before everything.
Yeah.
And we were forming this thing that Jay called the Dynasty. This was his idea. So we did this record, the P, the H, the I, the L, I mean, Philly. Mm-hmm. So when I said my cribs be hot, you could see the pool from the kitchen. Hove came in and he the fuck? You could see the pool from the kitchen, and the way I would move. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when at Vibrant, he loved that part, so he would take pieces of that, not stealing it, but absorbing
and taking inspiration from it. Yeah.
So, but that's what hip hop is. We know this now. Back then, we thought you stealing.
Right.
Nah, he was absorbing what was around him. Sponge shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've always heard rumors that the deal that became state property was y'all deal. Meaning Dutch and Spade, Major Figgas. Y'all even said it on the radio once upon a time when y'all was going back and forth with them on that fateful night. I don't want to really bring that up. But the deal y'all took was ours. How true is that, and how come the deal didn't why not Roc-A-Fella at that time?
It was a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding of the music business.
Got it.
The music business is not about 5-minute success. It's about a future.
Yeah.
Jay was offering us not only a record deal, but a clothing line, et cetera, et cetera.
Offering you equity and verticals.
We looked at it like we hot right now.
I want $1 million
right now.
Today.
So, and I said this on other podcasts, and I won't name them, but I said this on other podcasts that one of the regrets I have from just my career was turning down opportunity.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about with Jay, just opportunity.
Period.
In its entirety. Turning down opportunity is what can kill an artist.
Yeah.
So for you young artists out there, think about your future. Think about you being hot now at 19, and then you got to turn 29. And you pray for 39.
Yeah.
Then you pray for 49. And the beat goes on.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So don't put all your eggs in one basket.
I heard another rumor. When y'all were with Untertainment, Jay tried to buy y'all out of that deal.
Of course. It's not a rumor. It's a fact. It's a fact. Un wasn't. Why would Un let go of his cash?
Yeah. You
trying to pay him to sell money. Nobody don't sell money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, who's fuck selling money? Un wasn't selling no money, as you can see.
So in a situation like that, what I want to know is how do y'all as artists have any say in the matter to be like, no, actually, I do want to go with Jay. What the fuck? Like, do y'all have any say in the matter to be like, or is it just strictly Un and Jacob like, fuck no, I'm not doing it?
When you're guilty by association, you have no say so.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, Un gave us our first shot. Why would we leave him?
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So your loyalty can hurt you, especially if you're loyal to things that you don't know the end result of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So loyalty is what really killed Major Figgas, honestly.
Got it.
You know, some people, like, every time I do an interview, I get a phone call. Because
I know you're gonna for sure get a phone call about this
because of my perceptions of things. But what people have to understand is you got to be me to understand what me thinks.
Yes, indeed.
So until you become me, my bad 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Why didn't Dead Man Walking with Beans or Where I'm From with Cam have videos?
Un didn't listen to me. Bottom line, Un didn't fucking listen to me. I told him we should shoot a video for Dead Man Walking. Nah, that ain't the single, B. We got so he was caught up in the
hit single, the pop sounding.
Exactly. At one time, Un was trying to get me to wear barrettes in my fucking hair.
Oh, he was going full like.
I'm like, bro, I'm from Philly. I don't wear.
He tried to turn you to J.O. felony or something,
right? But he like, nah, like your hair long, and you know what I mean. Well, I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, I got to be me. When I go back to the hood, I can't go.
I gotta go back to Erie Avenue.
Erie Avenue with no fucking barrettes in my motherfucking hair.
You gonna have to answer for that.
You know, gimmicks and all of that wasn't pushing like that. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't so much of a gimmick. Un just had great ideas that were way ahead of his time. Because I can't shit on a man and say he was wrong. I'll just say he wasn't politically correct.
Got it.
At that time, because he still got to remember when you going back to your cul-de-sac where Rod Strickland lived right here and Lil Kim live over here and all of these people.
You in the richest zip code in New Jersey.
In Alpine, New Jersey. You ain't coming back to the hood. When I leave, I got to go back to the hood.
Yeah. Even
though I'm going back to the hood with thousands of dollars. We was thousandaires at the time. It was like,
how lucrative was that first deal? Do you remember?
So the front end for us was $27K.
Okay.
For me and Spade up front, and
each or split?
Each.
Okay.
And $250,000 overhead
to complete the
album. We switched overheads about 3 times. So by the time we were done, me and Spade went through 3 different overheads.
Right.
So it was 60-something thousand within 2.5 years in the pocket, and probably over $3 million in overhead.
Was that standard at that time? Like, did y'all get like per diem or living expense or whatever in addition to like just the straight like upfront money?
Jacob told us what per diem was.
Oh, y'all found that out later.
We didn't know nothing about that. Yeah, we ain't know nothing about no motherfucking per diem. We got money in our pocket. We was doing what we had to do. And Jacob was like, y'all don't need no petty cash? What the fuck is petty cash, Jacob? Jacob like, oh, petty cash is you come to me and you need something.
Here you go.
So now I need 7,000, 5,000, 3,000, 2,000.
The reason why I asked about the financial part of it is because a problem that I've always had with the music industry is it's predatory in a way where you create all of this fame around these young kids, typically young black males and females or whatever. You make it to where their presence is so big that people assume that they're rich already. And then essentially you send them back to the neighborhood that they came from with enough money to be the richest motherfucker in the neighborhood. And all you're really doing is making them a target. So what I'm really asking when I say how lucrative was it, it's like, did your lifestyle change as a result of doing this deal, or did it only make you rich enough to go be one of the richest niggas on Erie Avenue, and then you still got to deal with the pitfalls of being out there when you're there?
I'm gonna answer your question, right? but I'm gonna tell you this before I answer it, right? Nowhere on a hip hop contract does it says financial literacy. They don't offer you that
At all.
So to answer your question, it made us the richest motherfuckers on earth.
Which at 17, 18, 19, that's enough. Mm-hmm. But then once you live long enough to have a certain level of understanding, a certain level of financial literacy, you realize like I was essentially basically made a mascot for a bigger situation, and the motherfuckers you don't see ran off with the big ass bag of money.
You grew up like how I grew up, bro. You know, if you had on Versace, Moschino, Prada, wasn't too much Gucci jumping off at that time.
Yeah, nah, we didn't really have a lot Gucci ready to wear in that era.
Nah, but
Coogis.
Yeah, it was that. You
Gators.
Got some Gators on. You know what I'm saying? You dressing the part. I remember our signing party was one of the first times that I ever did some shopping in New York. And I went to the Gucci store. And my dumb young ass spent $7,000 on a Gucci suit, some shoes, and just to look good for one night.
Yeah.
And I would do that continuously. I remember the photo shoot for the cover of Major Figgas album. I went to the Versace store. I spent $11,000 on an outfit.
Right.
that I've never seen again. So, no, financial literacy was not a big part of signing a record deal at that time.
It seems to be, the story. So let me ask you this. The transition from one parent company to the next. So the epic fallout with the original big giant Untertainment deal, that's a J and Unthing. Y'all got caught in the middle of those label woes. Mm-hmm. When y'all get shifted over to Interscope, Steve Stout's 24, 25 years old, whatever. He's the president of black music over there. Dre is in the middle of his resurgence, I believe.
Eminem.
With Aftermath, Eminem, all of that. This is even before 50.
50 was going to come over to Interscope with us. I mean, Untertainment.
Really?
Yeah. He had a record, A Pimp Ain't a Pimp Without No Motherfucking
Fire-ass song.
Ain't a hustle without. I remember that record coming over, and unlike, it's this kid named 50 from Queens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? We like, that shit hot.
Right.
And when I saw 50, maybe like in the beginning stages where he would start to come to Philly, when he started to pop, I walked over to him and I said, I'm going to tell you something that you think I don't know. He like, what's that? I started singing A Pimp Ain't a Pimp Without No Motherfucking Hoes. He bust out laughing. Banks, everybody, you know what I'm saying? They bust out laughing. So going over to Interscope was where we really started to see the music industry for what it was.
Got it.
Jimmy Iovine. Our meeting with Jimmy Iovine was we thought we were flying to LA to go sit in his office. Give me your hand, Diddy. I'm going to show you how the meeting went. I'm Jimmy. Welcome to the company.
Nice to meet you.
And we was off to the studio.
Didn't even see his office.
With Rottweiler that night.
Yeah. Jimmy Iovine, somebody that from the outside looking in, I have a lot of respect for in terms of like the way that he built his music company, because he always finds those transformative artists, but more importantly, he really bases, if you look at all his sub labels, off of producers. Mm-hmm. Dr. Dre, Pharrell, Polo the Don, like, you look through the history of it, it's like he's always partnered that way, because I guess the thought process is the producers are creating the records. They can hear a hit record and they can identify what artists mesh well, with these sonics and stuff like that in order to be able to, push the thing forward. And it's like a great producer is probably harder to find, like an all-time great producer is harder to find than a good artist, because it's like if the producer's who he say he is, he'll coach the artists up to get them good enough to at least carry them to the next artist.
Yeah. When I put on some dress clothes and I put a baseball cap on, I'm in my Jimmy Iovine phase. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember being in a couple of weeks ago, I was in Theory with one of my special people, and I put on an outfit and I put my fucking baseball cap on and I thought I was in my Jimmy Iovine stage. You know what I'm saying? So,
let me ask you this, kind of circling back to Jay, and we could put a pin in it. Give me your best Jay-Z story.
All of us being at the studio, waiting on Jay to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Jay would always be on his. He get there.
It's on CEO time.
Yeah, so he would wear like 2 t-shirts. 1 t-shirt, he'd have 1 sleeve out. It's just like, you know what I mean? He'd have his do-rag on and a headband on.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him and Dame playing this game called Guts.
It was like 2-card poker or something like that.
Fuck no. He told Jay, look out the window. Jay, look out the window. You're like, what? What's up? He said, you see the range out there? I said, yeah, I just grabbed that nigga. Guts. Jay had to go grab either a car like that or something else that was equivalent to the price.
Wow.
Guts every time.
That's crazy.
Remember, he said it. He said it. I'm calling Guts every time.
Yeah.
I seen that shit in real time. These niggas would call Guts. Him and Dame was really like, they would go crazy.
That's crazy.
Like, you can see how much guts you got and be like, yo, you gonna spend it or what? Real money.
Right.
Real money. That was one of my favorite Jay stories. Seeing a nigga play
That's
Guts.
a hell of a story.
You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna do no pepperoni and cheese.
Yeah, that's a hell of a story. Goddamn. Let me ask you this. Before we talk all the time, like I said. We was talking earlier, whatever. You told me about told me a funny story about Nas. About
Salute to Escobar, man.
About when y'all was in the studio one night. and Nas just came to you and said, yo, who?
No, I'm gonna reiterate it for you, right? So we have to do a single. Interscope is requiring me and Spade to do a single. So, Interscope will call out the best producers at the time.
Yeah.
So there was a producer, Rottweiler, who produced one of the greatest duo records that I've ever heard was Method Man and Redman.
Blackout album.
And the single,
The Rottweiler.
So we wanted
yeah.
Rottweiler.
Yeah, I need one of those.
Record. So we're in the studio in LA. It's funny, Megan Good and her sisters had a group on Interscope.
Wow. I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, so Megan Good and her sister, they looked so much alike. I thought they were twins at the time. We in the studio. So they like, Steve is on the way, right? Steve Stout is on the way. So me and Spade, we like, all right, cool. Eve is in the studio as well. Eve is recording. We all on Interscope.
Right. Did y'all ever cut any records with Eve?
Yeah, I have me and Spade's album. We one thing I can say about that, we own the rights to me and Spade's album. So I was gonna release it on some lost tape shit. Just gotta feel like it. You know what I'm saying? But I have the actual.
I'm gonna give you a joint, and I hopefully I can Don King this and be involved. Not only should you absolutely release it, let's do a concert around the release of that album too, and make it what it should be.
Well,
y'all can
you know what it is, Diddy. I would never tell you no, right? Because I'm
just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
I would never tell you no. But the thing about it is,
I know it's other parties involved. They got
the money.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? We get the right amount of money.
It's a go.
I can call Lava. And, Don, listen, this is what we got on the table. Don gonna make that call.
Right.
That's one thing. I talk to the Don every day. Don is in Paris right now. working with the Clips on their new album.
That's amazing. Damn, that's an exclusive.
Yeah, they working on this new album right now, and they're recording it in Virgil Abloh's old office.
So they just set up the studio in Virgil's old office.
Well, it's Pharrell's office because he's doing the new line.
Right. And I'm sure he's handling probably the bulk of the production. And
he's handling all the production.
That's amazing.
So
God damn.
Right now, Lava's in...
Exclusive.
I mean, Lava's in Paris right now with his homies. You know what I'm saying? And they're sitting there and they picking out beats and they doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I love about Push. No matter what, Push don't need no help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just keeps Lava around for the aesthetic of this is a great MC. And Lava sits behind the board and listens, and he's doing the Dr. Dre, the Pharrell and him and Kanye type of situation where they're curating an album that's probably going to be one of the best cocaine opulence come out of it.
I want to definitely give Lava Don his flowers. He's somebody that people don't necessarily recognize as being one of the best writers, the best song constructors, the best quality control music men in the game. And Dr. Dre has tapped on his shoulder and said, hey, can you do XYZ for me? The Clips, the Re-Up Gang, that whole situation, and R&B artists and multiple people in between. And he's somebody that's been a constant for 30 years behind the scenes, just pushing culture and making shit go.
Of dope shit. Like the Don. I'll show you my phone when we done.
Yeah.
I called the Don earlier. It's nighttime in Paris at 3:00 in the afternoon here. It's nighttime. Lava was on the way to dinner. I called him. We get our laugh in.
Yeah.
I check and see what's going on. And he told me, they're recording it in Pharrell's office at Louis Vuitton. I'm like, bring me back a jacket. Bring me back a fucking jacket, please.
You gotta get the Don on here for me. Whenever he come back to
you know what?
States, you gotta connect me with the Don.
So right now in Paris, it's very late.
Yeah.
So Don probably knocked the fuck out.
Right.
But if it was 3:00 here, I could call him and he picks up. He picks up for me. The one thing I could say is my big brother loves every figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it's figure time, he don't miss a call.
Right.
So Don working on what he working on. Salute to the Don. He's nominated for about 4 or 5 Grammys.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to the Don, man.
I mean, so every year. So he got nominated for Kanye's album, and he nominated for a lot of Grammys, and won a few. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a for Donda. They got the Don got a couple Grammys.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
My big brother, man. I love you, bro.
Gotta bring them Grammys to EA, man. Back to this Nas story. I ain't letting you get away that easy. We didn't talk. We done went around the world. Tell the people this Nas story, man.
Steve Stout walks in the studio. I'm smoking probably one of the biggest blunts of California weed I've ever smoked in my life, and my favorite rapper, Nas,
the flyest rapper of all time, too.
He walks in. Now I'm stuck, right? For 2 seconds because I'm still Dutch. So I'm stuck for 2 seconds. Nas walks in. I'm thinking, damn, Steve Stout done set it up as to where, we on Interscope. We about to get a motherfucking Escope verse.
Yeah.
Me and Spade looking at each other like, what's up? So we go outside. Nas looks at me. I'm like, yo, bro, man, I've been a fan of your music all my life. My whole life, basically. He said, I just want to ask you one question. Who the fuck is this nigga Freeway? I'm like, what? He like, yeah, man, the nigga dissed me on the radio on Funk Flex, man. And I just want to know who the fuck this nigga is, because I don't know the nigga, but the nigga bars is crazy. So I'm like, nah, it's free. You know what I'm saying? He from my hood. You know what I'm saying? Like, we from North Philly, and you know what I mean? He like, yeah, man, that nigga. I want to get at the nigga. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that was around the time when, you know, Jay and him was doing the ether and this type of situation.
That's when they was like, you know, tiptoeing around it. And then, you know, the Hot Night, it was like moments around that beef. It was like the Hot 9-7 freestyle. It was the Memphis Bleak, your lifestyle's written, who you supposed to be, play your position. And then Nas came back, hit the freeway, shoot through Memphis with money bags, go to Philly, order cheesesteak, and eat beans fast. I'm like a fucking rap encyclopedia.
Joint,
and then then Takeover comes, and then Jay Birthday Ether.
That's why this is the realest podcast.
You got to have a certain amount of perspective. You feel me?
That's why this is the realest podcast.
What's your best memories from that era? From the whole 56th Street, Stevie G crib, radio, Untertainment, Epic, Leave There, Interscope, Jay trying to sign. Like, what's your best memory from that whole era right there?
Getting a two-way pager and baby sending me a two-way. it led all the way to Cash Money.
Right.
Literally.
I remember, and again, there's a certain night on the come up, shit went left. I'm not going to like bring that part up, but there's a certain night on the come up, shit went left.
We could bring it up because at the end of the day, this is the thing. We all right now, as you know, I do my own podcast situation.
Absolutely. It was all a dream. It was all a dream. Plug.
We have interviewed Oskino. We've interviewed Emilio Sparks. Pushing for Freeway right now.
Yeah.
He's just been, you know, running around.
He's free all over the place. Free having a crazy resurgence right now.
Yeah, and I love that for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love that for us. And in the words of Ebony Dukes, I love that for us. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, so fuck it. Let's talk about, I'm gonna sit up.
It's up.
Let's get with the shit.
Now let's go.
So there's a night on the radio, because I already talked about, there's been a bunch of different come up nights or whatever like that. And I already talked about the one that set it all off, that created the Philly rap scene. That's the flag got planted that night. That's the stamp. 1998, I think it was September 1998. Y'all planted the flag for Philly hip hop, the new wave of it that was completely different than what we had prior to that. There's another night on the radio where I'm guessing this is shortly after the two-way from Baby, where y'all are on the radio, fuck with Ciamara, there be no tomorrow.
Like a motherfucker.
And y'all was popping y'all shit. And Spade had a legendary freestyle that night. What'd he say, y'all? I raised them up from pups. This ain't a game. We ain't laughing much.
Yeah.
Talking about Chris and Neef. And
this one's dedicated to the Rock Joe Familia. Yeah.
And then y'all get a phone call. It's Beanie Siegel on the phone. And it starts off like, oh, we might get somewhere. We might have some peace in the city. We might get some understanding.
Wasn't no motherfucker.
Wasn't no peace. Wasn't no understanding. He was very calm. And then at some point, I don't remember who said what that triggered him, and he went to a million. And then it was
the kid. The kid, Gil.
You couldn't never fuck with me, chump.
Gil. It was Gil. Gil.
I remember you was dirty to white.
Yeah, Gil wasn't having that shit. Gil wasn't having that shit. We wasn't having that shit at the time. It was competition at its finest. That's what it was. It was competitiveness at its finest. To give you a little bit of substance,
right,
to that, to what led to that. It was all a misunderstanding. We were in transition from getting right to Interscope to us having to release music independently to keep the buzz going. So Spade released a tape called Independence Day. On the Independence Day, he said, "You great Western, who stepped you up to Chris?" Double entendre.
Right.
Great Western was a cheap champagne. Cristal
was the top of the line.
That's what he meant by that. It was taken out of context.
So that turns into.
I want to say that right. It was taken out of context.
So if my timeline now with that substance added, if my timeline serves me correct, that leads to a. I don't know if it was State Property or just a Young Guns radio appearance. Call a spade, you niggas ain't thugs, you blades, go and get your little snubs and blades.
Yes. So that sparked a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And with that sparking that whole mass hysteria in Philadelphia hip hop, it was all from a misunderstanding.
Right.
Spade wasn't even talking about nobody.
Right.
He was talking about Great Western and Cristal.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that a small misunderstanding like that, people's lives got changed in the trajectory of not what's just going on in the rap game, but like people lose their life, people go to jail, stuff like that. Like it changed the trajectory of everybody's life at that moment, and it was really kind of like a black eye on the rap scene because was the genesis of it was some rap shit. And there was real impact as far as the blowback.
Gave me and Spade $100 up front and a $750,000 overhead. That's what it damaged.
Damn.
That's what it damaged. Right there, we were at the stage where we made it to LA. We was working with the top of the line. If you remember, Spade had a verse on Ray J's single. It was going.
Yeah.
It was going. Un was attempting to try to cause this relationship with me and Brandy at the time.
Oh, y'all had the whole PR machine was going to work.
It was. Wendy Williams was, throwing a lot of stuff in the air about Eve and myself being at Sixers games, and allegedly she bought me a Bentley and things like that. I won't say it's true or false. I'll just say it was things thrown in the air. Yeah. And Wendy Williams, she was the gossip person at the time.
She had all the dirt.
And it wasn't no dirt though. It was, it was all clean. Bentley's is clean. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sixers games is clean. Foot in the wood is clean. You know what I'm saying? So, make a long story short story even more of a midget. It fucked up the water. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people put oil in the water. Right. And, oil and water don't mix, so.
So how does that text message, that two-way from Stunner come about, and then what immediately follows after that?
I'm going to fuck you up with this one. You remember Eyes on Hip Hop?
Yes.
We did a DVD, Eyes on Hip Hop. Me and Spade was rapping in front of Lava's truck, that green truck.
I remember this.
We put a MF towel over top of the truck, and we spit our back and forth. I didn't know that shit got to New Orleans. Right. Fuck what I know that shit got to New Orleans. Right?
I've found out in recent times, meaning like the last 7 or 8 years, that there was a huge Philadelphia rap influence on New Orleans, that not the sensational part of it, but like on a street level, as far as our DVDs, our flow patterns, our cadences.
This is new to me.
Yeah.
You telling me this right now, I did not know.
Yeah. So I've heard like Super Blanco from Squad Up and stuff say like all we was listening to at the time when we was making the Squad mixtapes was Major Figgas and State Property.
Yeah.
I've seen that on interviews.
I didn't know none of that shit, bro.
I heard Wayne speak on that too as well. Wayne said the same.
I didn't know. So I'm on Park Avenue. Allegheny section of Philadelphia. I'm on Park Avenue. Mm-hmm. My two-way pager goes off, and it's a message, and it says, "What's up, Wody? What's happening with you?" On two ways, your name tag comes up.
Right.
The name tag was #1 Stunner. I flipped my joint up. I'm like, who the fuck is this on my joint? Like,
yeah.
how did he get my number?
Who playing on my tour?
Yeah, who playing on my joint? Like, yo, give me a call. 504-231. I won't say the rest of the number. I remember these numbers vividly because these numbers probably still active these days. 504-231. I call a number. A lady named Yolanda picked up the phone. Beatrice want to talk to you. Who the fuck is Beatrice?
So we went from number one stunner to Beatrice.
Baby.
Yeah.
He
Brian Williams.
Beatrice. Brian.
B Bubba, you can call it what you feel.
Yeah, I mean,
B32.
Yeah, B32. So I, now I go to my cellular device and I call. It's Stunner. He like, Woody, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Like, chilling, man. What's going on with you? Yeah, this baby, you know what I'm saying? Cash Money Records, just what you got going on? I ain't doing nothing right now. We recording. Boom, boom, boom. All right, well, we got a Cash Money Rough Riders tour. I'm going to send you a plane ticket. Can you make it to Ohio? I'm like, for sure. I can make it to Ohio. I'm a rapper. The fuck, I can make it to Ohio. Right. I go to Ohio. I land in Ohio. I get off the plane. They pick me up. We go back to the place where everybody's staying at. They introduced me to Juvenile first. I walk in Juvie room. I got on Iceberg sweatsuit. He'd look at me. He like, nah, Woody. I'm like, what's fucking wrong? I got on Iceberg. This is a $600 sweatsuit. What the fuck is you
I got that shit on. You playing games.
He said, nah, Woody, go in that box right there. Now, at this time, flights, you could fly how you want to fly.
Yeah, it's open season on flight.
I had a 22 this big.
Little pocket rocket.
And they let me fly with the motherfucker. Juvie had the same kind. I pull that motherfucker out. He like, yeah, I got the same one. He said, go in that box over there. I said, what the fuck? What's in the box? He said, put them jabots on. And what size you wear? He called downstairs, get my size. I had some soldier reeds on, is what they call it.
Yeah.
And the jabots. He said, now you look like you with Cash Money. All right.
He put you in a uniform.
Yeah, he put me in a fucking uniform, right? So I put the shit on. Now I'm walking around and shit. You know what I'm saying? We just moving around. So Stunner like, grab your stuff. I'm like, I just landed. I just got here. What the fuck you, like, in my mind, this is what I'm saying. He like, yeah, we about to go to the NO. All right. We going to the NO. He like, we going to Bayou Classic. I still don't know.
This shit don't mean nothing to a North Philly nigga.
Right, I don't know what the fucking Bayou Classic is. So we land in New Orleans. When we land in New Orleans, we go to Eastover. It's a place in New Orleans where Slim and Baby had homes right across from each other. We get to the house. Baby like, we about to get dressed. We going to the Bayou Classic. He like, what car you want to take? Pull out a key ring.
100 keys on that motherfucker.
You know me. Let's take the Lambo. He said, well, Slim bought me that. I ain't started that bitch since he bought it for me. He bought it for me 2 years ago. He started the motherfucker. Wom, 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 wom. We ride with the doors up. Great weekend in New Orleans. We fly back to Ohio. Come back to Philly. I introduce all of the squad to Stunner. Now we still going through the weirdness of the state property Major Figgas beef, where Jay came to Philly and said that he wouldn't perform at Powerhouse if we perform.
I remember that.
So Jay said, I'm not doing it if they do it.
Yeah.
Baby said, but we got the Cash Money Rough Riders tour. Y'all perform with us. These motherfuckers had helicopters on the stage.
Prowlers.
Yeah, like, so we performed there, and that just started a relationship that, you know, turned into people getting opportunities from it.
Yeah.
Like, me and Spade wanted to go over to Cash Money as well. I wasn't having that shit neither. So what I did was I started to study clause. And studying the clause and contract.
Trying to see where they in breach.
Yeah, I knew that if you ask for something and they sign on it, then you can do it. So I asked for clause that no matter what I did, I still could always do Major Figgas.
Mm-hmm.
With those clause, it made shit a little bit easier to deal with certain shit, but
right.
Contractually, we still wasn't able to do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So basically, the original Cash Money deal that ended up turning into a Gillie deal was a Major Figgas situation.
Well, that's what I wanted, because me and Spade already had a situation over at Untertainment.
Right.
So I'm like, there's a couple people who never got a chance to get signed or never got a chance to do anything. So my intentions was
to put the fam on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was a good thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't going for it. I introduced Gil. Gil was still in like limbo with Suave House. So he ended up taking a solo deal over there.
Right.
And with taking a solo deal, they still included Cash Money. You know what I'm saying? Because we did the Bait soundtrack, and Wesley Snipes had a movie called Undisputed.
I remember that.
That Cash Money did the whole soundtrack for.
Uh-huh.
And we did a lot of records with Manny Fresh and Cash Money on those, you know, that record. So it turned out to be something dope, and then Gil ended up having to take, you know, a solo deal to further his career to take care of his family.
Got you. Around this time, I remember seeing you in the Go DJ video with Weezy, and I'm home like the fucking Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like, yo, because I know these faces. I've seen these faces. I know what that. So I'm just like, at that point, I'm like, yes, like these niggas finally get a shot. Mm-hmm. At that standpoint, where y'all still like negotiating, and it's like we trying to figure this out, but come on over here while we doing what we doing. Or was it a situation where it's like, all right, Gil got the deal, but it's still MF anyway, so I'm still around this situation because I'm the conduit that even opened this door?
Well, Gil signed the deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was there. I was on the run for some goofy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna do no... I was on the run for some goofy shit. Time has started to just weigh on me. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up catching a case that, was crazy. And me being on the run for the case, Gil was going to go pick up some paper from Stunner.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to Ohio, where they shot the movie Shawshank Redemption, it was a jail that was where they shot the Go DJ video at. And when I got there, Weezy was like, oh, well, damn, Dutchie, what's up, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? You here? I want you right here and Gil right here. And that's how we ended up in the video.
Right.
By Lil Wayne's request. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout to Tunchi.
And then I also remember in that same time period, him wearing the MF chain in the Bring It Back video. And again, another Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm like, yo, yeah. I know that chain. Because Gil been on 1 million DVDs.
It was so Weezy to me and Turk and BG and Baby and, you know what I'm saying, the Cash Money entity was family to me because I met them through him two-waying me,
Right.
and me becoming family with these guys. You feel what I'm saying? So music, you become a family with somebody when they love what you do, you love what they do. I was always a fan. I was always listening to the guerrilla warfares and these albums that they was putting out. So
Right. It made sense.
it was like it's Cash Money.
Yeah.
That's why if you look at the documentary of Cash Money, the MTV version of it, you see me and Bump backstage and Cash Money, Cash.
Yeah.
So I thought that's where I was going.
Yeah.
But, it was still always guilty by association. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't sign a deal over here because you still bonded with this situation. And one thing about it, I was never going to lose ties with over nothing.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So
What gave you that? I know you talked about sometimes being loyal to a fault, but what created that loyalty to Is it strictly because he gave y'all first shot, or was it other things that went on in the midst of the relationship where he sustained y'all and always made sure that y'all was straight? So that's where the loyalty came from, or was it strictly off the first shot?
I'm just a loyal person, bro.
Would you say loyal to a fault?
Yeah, I'm just a loyal person. Like, if I feel like, you gonna die for me and I'm gonna die for you, I can't just jump ship on somebody who first gave me my first shot,
right?
Believed in me, and we became a family.
Yeah.
So it was Untertainment to the death of me.
And then also there's another, perspective on it where hindsight is 20/20, and then you gain more knowledge over time,
right.
And then you realize it's like, oh, there could have maybe been a way to still do this deal, still honor Untertainment. They get compensation or whatever, whether it's a back end deal or royalty, whatever out of the project, to where I'm not leaving but I'm doing what's in my best interest to get with the hottest thing smoking, and then now I get a fair shot at the music industry because I'm not attached to all of the negativity of the backlash of and Jay-Z and that whole situation too.
They have this saying now: if you know, you know. We didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't fucking know, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't know, bro. We was kids that was privy to a lifestyle that changed our dynamics of what we thought was rich and poor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll mention my special person again. They always say to me, well, where's the money now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You talked about all this stuff you did and all this stuff you didn't do. Where's the money now? The money is in my generational knowledge that I've acquired.
Right.
Not the wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
So I know how to take something that was nothing and make it something.
Yeah. One of the biggest rumors in hip hop history is that Gil wrote for Lil Wayne. Can you confirm or squash this rumor from your standpoint?
The only person that could confirm and squash that rumor is Wayne and Gil, because they was the ones in the room
right
when they was making these records. I know when I was there, I never seen either of them write for each other.
Right.
So I can't say yes or no.
Got you.
What I could say is influence.
Influence is clear.
Bliss.
Yeah.
So I do believe that Weezy was influenced by Major Figgas.
Yeah.
As Major Figgas was influenced by Tunchi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I can't say. I've heard similarities.
Yeah, for sure.
But I can't say that, like, when do New Orleans guys say, up against the ball? The ball comes from Philly.
Yeah, that's
But then
us through and through.
You look at DVDs and you hear us, hey, what's up, babe? So who wrote for who?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like dialogue is dialogue. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I can say is I can't say yes or no. And I won't say yes or no because I won't slight Gil or slight Wayne in this.
Right.
There go that loyalty again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There go that loyalty again. But if I had to say one thing, I do believe that it was a couple lines given by my man,
Okay.
by Gil to Cash Money. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I can't do no line with that. I'm gonna go ahead and spark it up and say, you know what? I believe Gil did write a few things. Fuck it.
Yeah.
What can I lose?
With that being said, you know, being as though you have loyalty to these two entities, give me your best Weezy story from that time period when you was around Cash Money.
Weezy was like a little brother to me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember me going to the Ritz-Carlton and other hotels, Hawthorne Suites and all of these places, and I would be high as a motherfucker. My thing was drink as much Cristal as you could drink as much syrup as you could drink, take as many Xanax as you could take. I was a hip-hop nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do no. I don't eat Cap'n Crunch, so I ain't gonna eat Cap'n. Right? I'm in this room, and my syrup intake that I would do would have me in these sleep-induced stupors where I could and come out with a verse.
Right.
And Weezy asked me one day, "What did you have?" I said, "I'm off my drink." He said, "What you had there, Houston?" I'm like, "What?" Not knowing that Houston, you know, the home of syrup.
Mm-hmm.
I told Weezy what I was on. And that's where them cups came from.
Right.
And you could ask him, that man ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I don't got that man lying to you. Weezy wasn't drinking no lean till he met me.
Right.
A lot of niggas wasn't drinking no lean till they met me.
So basically,
It was drinks made.
yeah.
Scissor from Cameron and Jim Jones.
Yeah.
From watching what me and Spade was doing. And the crazy part about it is Philly don't get the love that we deserve. And that's what cooked me.
Right. Because inadvertently, you influenced the influencer that influenced the whole culture.
Like a motherfucker.
Like a motherfucker.
Like a motherfucker, bro.
And I know, we're having
But did he? It wasn't right though. Like,
no, that's where I was
killing my
and that's where I was
self.
going with it,
You know
where
what
it's
I'm
like,
saying?
yo, it's
I'm
like
drinking so much motherfucking drink. That nigga,
it's a negative influence, but an influence nonetheless. Because
bro,
it's,
I died a million times, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
did you ever
Times,
you ever crossed over and was fucking with the yellow too?
That was my shot.
That was your shot.
And ask Siegel. I didn't drink nothing else. Me and Siegel would go to the infamous J Street.
Yeah.
And man, my shot was at least $200-$300 a day.
Oh yeah, you was going there.
I was bad. I was down bad.
You went to the went with Kiss. I go to the gun store, cop the top shelf. You bought the top shelf at the lean store.
I didn't know nothing else.
Me all this shit.
Why would I drink? Purple was corny. The purple was corny.
Yeah.
It's royalty, but it's corny. You know what I'm saying? It was corny. I ain't want none of that shit. The green was like $2-3 a fucking ounce.
Right.
The $30 for the ounce of the yak. You know what I'm saying? And then when I migrated to South Philly, I lived in South Philly. See, I used to live on 23rd and Reed. So me, Malachi, my man Duba, may he rest in peace. Man, I was drink lord. You hear me?
Yeah.
I was Lord Sipper. You know, that's where a lot of these good records came from.
Right.
The euphoria. Me just being out of my body. And actually, it's been times I've been in the studio, bro, and I looked at myself. That's how high I was, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I think Slim is the main unsung hero of the Cash Money dynasty.
Sugar Don. That's what we call him, the Sugar Don.
What can you tell us about Sugar Slim the Don?
What I can tell you is that Slim is the glue to Cash Money.
Yeah.
He is the unsung god of Cash Money.
Yeah.
He don't talk too much. He don't. You. Man, Slim is like a nerdma. Google that word. I'm gonna tell you, he's a nerdma.
Okay.
Like, I went to Slim house, bro. Slim got 24 karat gold sinks, and toilets, and bathrooms in his house. Man.
Yeah.
They got $1 million blocks and glass this thick. Shit I ain't never seen before, man. This niggas is different, man. I watched Baby in New Orleans give away $100,000 to the projects. And that Lambo that I told you we was in.
Yeah.
These guys is different, bro.
Right.
Dangerous, bro.
TK Kirkland, the comedian, said he was he opened up for Cash Money doing the MCing and in comedy on the Cash Money Rough Riders.
That's one of my favorite niggas. TK
Yeah,
Kirkland
TK
is like
that nigga.
crazy. He's funny as hell.
And TK said he remember he was hanging out with Baby so much they became friends off of the touring, and Baby liked to put him in baller blockers and this and this.
Baby is a real nigga, bro.
He said he remembered Baby going to the Bentley dealership, like getting everybody together. Yeah, we going to the Bentley dealership, and he bought like 7 Bentleys. TK said, I'm sitting there like, damn, this nigga about to buy me a Bentley. Like, he wasn't sure. And he was like, I ain't get one. He said, but it was cool to see it. He just giving out Bentleys like Pontiac Grand Prix.
Bro, one of my close friends, Ali Siddiq, great comedian.
Amazing comedian. You gotta connect me with Ali Siddiq, man. I love that guy.
Man, when he coming in town, I'll take you straight to him. That's one of my brothers in Islam. Good Muslim brother.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I say, my favorite slogan is make a short story shorter than the midget, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These guys is real life multi-millionaires, man.
Yeah.
And this
Mega millionaire.
is like I done stayed in the house with Baby and his kids, bro. And that's how the money come, bro. I done seen these motherfuckers get the bag to the point where it's like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
What you gonna do next? I remember Baby teeth hurting so bad. He was like, oh, that shit hurt, man. You don't understand when the pain costs to have these motherfucking diamonds in my mouth,
Yeah,
bro.
because I remember he had switched over from golds to baguettes, and that shit fucked everybody up. They like,
Bro, Baby, he would chatter his teeth, and it would make this sound like a money counter, bro. I ain't lying.
yeah,
He put 30 in his mouth, bro. 30,000 in his mouth, bro. I remember, man, that shit crazy, bro.
I remember the most craziest shit ever with Cash Money. Outside looking in, them niggas got a plaque for 1 billion records sold. Mm-hmm. That shit fucked me. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, we sold 1 billion records, and I'm just like, how the fuck you do that? And then you back into it, and you like, yeah, these niggas sold 1 billion records.
Bro, I remember going to New Orleans on tour with Charlie Baltimore and not knowing who these guys was, and they were lit then. Mm-hmm. In the Charlie Baltimore era, they had stretch Hummers and all of this shit.
Yeah.
99.
Ridiculous, man. Post the Cash Money era and post the height of Major Figgas, I used to see you just popping up in a lot of different places. A movie here, a TV show here. And a mainstay of somebody that I saw you with a lot was Lil Kim. Mm-hmm. How did you connect with Kim, and what was the nature of y'all like working relationship and what you was doing around that time period?
I had a friend that I acquired through Daoud. There was a guy named Kabani Savage.
North Philadelphia.
And Kabani was in prison at
ADX
federal,
Supermax.
Yeah, but before he got there, he was right there
At FDC.
FDC. And when Kim did her year and a day,
That's where she did it at.
she did her year and a day in Philly. And I get a call from one of my guys that Kim wanted to meet me, you know, when she came home. And it went from that meeting to us becoming friends. Then from friends, it turned into a little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more, and we ended up overseas.
Right. I was going to ask you, you know, during that time period, and I'm pretty sure for you, it felt like a whirlwind of you meet this person, you're working, you're doing this. I'm sure you writing, quality control, producing. You're Dutch. Like, why would somebody, male or female, have a prolific artist such as yourself around and not absorb the sauce of, you know, what you have to offer? But I was going to ask you, how did that relationship transition into a more relationship? Was it just mutual attraction based off of the creativity part, or do you think that that was always the intention and it just took time for you to open your eyes and see it, and then you landed where you landed?
I would say yes, because Untertainment. Now, you ask me that question, it makes sense.
Yeah.
She paid attention to what was going on. I could have been, you know, a little eye candy at that point.
Right.
And
Nigga Rican, got the hair and
you know, and it becomes enticing to some people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, much respect to the Queen Bee. At the end of the day, you know, I could never over or underplay what she had to offer to the game.
Yeah.
I just know
She's an icon.
Yeah, I just know that, you know, icons is human too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
They got needs too.
you know, you get a Philly nigga around you, and, you know, one thing leads to another, and, you know.
Yeah. So during that time period, you know, are you able to tell us, or is it like a ghost situation in terms of what you wrote, what you contributed to, what projects you was a part of?
Well, we worked on Wyclef's album.
Okay.
Ludacris Battle of the Sexes. We had an official remix to Rihanna. Just y'all can say whatever. I'm gonna do whatever. I ain't going nowhere. Yep. You know this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we had some official things going on. I mean, I don't know the depth of the question that you're asking. I mean, if you just want...
What did you write?
Well, NDAs.
Okay, all right, that's what I said. Like, what can we talk about?
So NDAs won't let me.
What time period is this, so we can cross reference and maybe go back with a different ear and say, oh, that sound like bro, like that might be.
Well, 2008 to 2012.
Okay, well, yeah, that's we got the timestamps now.
You know
we got them.
2008 to 2012. And I mean, just to get it off of me.
Yeah.
Because
you've never said this before.
Yeah, it's been on me for a while.
Why do you think it's important to speak about it and basically just let it be known? Because I'm sure it's been speculation forever.
I'm just tired of people asking me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so now they could just reference this and just know, like,
tired of people.
Fuck it, I said it.
Yeah, it's tired of people asking me. I mean,
and does she respond as extra lit?
Yeah, but it's all due respect.
Yeah, with all due respect. But I mean, her history is that she, outside looking in, she has an affinity for street niggas, like niggas that come from the street. Like it is what it is. Like, so it's, to me, it's not shocking to hear it or to hear you confirm that it wasn't just a professional relationship. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a natural transition to me.
I mean, what would you do, Diddy? You know what I'm saying? It's the queen bee. You know,
You almost have to. You at least got to shoot your shot and be told like, no, we ain't on that.
This is what I'm gonna say.
Like,
This is what I'm gonna say.
you at least got to open the door.
I'm glad I could say this with respect.
Yeah,
Intimacy wasn't a choice. Things happen.
yeah. That's a real way to say that. Yeah.
Things happen.
I salute you, sir.
You're around certain people, and you know things happen. Man.
Yeah, there's
Things happen.
there's rumors and innuendo about other, Philly artists being around certain pop stars, and they billionaires now. But you see
I can say this.
a picture, and you like, wait a minute.
I can say this. I never did anything to dismantle my home
Got it.
with that situation.
Got you.
When these things occurred, I was not married. I was not in any way in control or any way trying to use it as a catapult
Right.
for my career.
Because a messy nigga would have been calling the paparazzi and
Yeah,
leaking
I
it.
mean,
Like,
the thing that made me mad was I still wanted to be compensated for the work that I did.
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all. So sometimes I would,
That's a crazy point.
I would get a little upset
Yeah.
because I just wanted to be compensated.
Yeah. Now the checks is coming slow or not at all. And
Yeah, no, it's just the attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Would change because of the intimacy.
yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it's like, damn, you getting this pussy, I gotta pay you too? Like, damn, like,
yeah, so but I'm saying you getting this dick,
right.
I gotta not get paid.
Yeah, all's fair. It should be all's fair. So yeah, it's like, yeah, and as a creator and a creative, you shouldn't have to fight for that part of it because the nature of the relationship changes. Like certain stuff is supposed to be set in stone before these lines get crossed. But in reality, with humans and all our emotions and all of that shit,
But
they
then
always get blurred.
Should I feel bad? You feel what I'm saying? Should I feel bad because
No, you still did the work.
So,
You still did the work.
So, no, but what I'm saying is,
And it ain't your money.
when we talk about these things, people they go into the thing of, oh, he's clout chasing, or
Right.
he's doing these things. No, it's like I just wanted to get that shit up off me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That the people were around. Lisa Ray knows.
Right.
Detail knows.
Yeah.
Baby know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and with all due respect, it's no pun intended to this shit, but at the end of the day, I can't not be a celebrity and not talk about what happened in my past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I owe nobody silence.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm not disrespecting anybody. What I'm saying is, you paraded me around the industry and TMZ and all of these other places with ass in your Hawaiian security and all of this shit. And you would never say, nah,
Right.
we popping each other.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, they gonna get mad. They gonna get mad. What the fuck they gonna do?
Hey,
You know
man,
what I'm saying?
listen, it's 2024.
You gonna cancel me?
It's 2024. It's the year of telling the truth, man. We got to just say it like it is. Like, everybody getting their shit off their chest, man.
Hey, man, listen, one thing about it I could say was I enjoyed the time. I enjoyed the learning experience. I enjoyed me being in a $7 million home
Right.
for a certain amount of time.
Feet kicked up, living a good life.
Calamander floors and open doors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it is.
Drive what you want, go where you want.
You know, Snack Raps was out at that time. We was acting bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I ain't,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to shit on nobody, hate on nobody. I ain't cloud chasing, doing none of that.
But you're telling your truth, though, and it's
I
necessary.
mean, I can't be on a Realest podcast and not be real.
Not keep it
So
real, yeah.
At one point in time, there was a relationship that was going on with.
So
Me and her.
so did the financial part and the lack of compensation lead to the deterioration of the relationship? Or did y'all just like move in different directions?
No, I said, I'm getting married and I can't do this no more. It ended it.
So you pieced it out. You called it
Yeah,
off.
it was a simple fact of, all right, I'm already wrong for making a mistake. Like, I'm about to, this is going to give me some flack. Right
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting flack for this, but it's like, my ex-wife, no.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can't keep on playing.
She knows she lived it.
I can't keep playing in her face neither.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, she know. You feel what I'm saying? So with me being an artist and a person who lives this opulent lifestyle that I live, how long can you hold the secret?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was gonna let it go on Math Hoffa. I was gonna let it go on Drink Champs.
You should tell me earlier. You said y'all the Philly Drink Champs, man. I'm gonna get a story to my brother.
Yeah, like it's just we had a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? It's
And people that work together have relationships. I read something recently like 35-40% of relationships start at work. Like that's where the fuck else you gonna meet somebody that you gonna end up dating?
It is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
It's 14 years old.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I have a great relationship with my ex-wife. I got a great relationship with my children. I got a great relationship with everybody who's in my life right now.
Yeah.
I don't have no punches to pull, none of that shit. It was a period in time where me and Lil Kim had a situation where we cared for each other. I chose to be good to my family.
Yeah.
And I ended up with a divorce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you lost twice.
I lost twice. I should have just...
You should have just kept doing what you was doing.
Most niggas be like, you was a stupid motherfucker. You was already there. And I'm like, well, I wasn't, I was already wrong for making my mistakes. And it was like, just to be honest, it felt like how women feel when they are pushed to have sex to keep a job.
Right.
I mean, I don't mean to offend nobody, but that's what it was for me. It was like, I got to take care of my family. And it's like, if I don't say yes, this shit going to end, and I need to pay these bills. So
right.
It was about paying bills, but
right.
It wasn't nothing.
And the thing is, it's like, I think most men can relate to being in a situation like that where you almost feel like you being pulled in two different, situations with somebody that, you might love this person too, but you try to do the right thing, be the honest man that most women claim that they want, and then you still end up fucking losing. My joint was, I wasn't dealing with Lil Kim, but I'm dealing with this girl over here that I like. I start courting this other girl. I feel like I like her more. I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna tell this one it's over. I end up with this one is out of her mind. This one put sugar in my gas tank. Now I ain't got no car and neither one of them.
I'm gonna just lay it out like this, right? For 2 years, we worked together strictly platonically.
Yeah.
No touching, no nothing. Bro, sis. We was in Luxembourg, Germany one night, drinking Magnum Moet bottles. And one thing led to another.
And it went there.
And, I don't call it a mistake. I call it a lesson.
Yeah.
I indulged in, activities that was due to me just being overseas, and
falling into that experience.
I just fell into it, bro, and it was like, I really fell into it, like, literally, like,
literally fell into it.
I literally fell into it, and it is what it is. I mean, like I said, man, at the end of the day, I live life with no regrets, no mistakes. So
absolutely.
And I pray to my Lord of my understanding for forgiveness. So this may be a shocker to some,
Yeah.
not a shocker to a few.
People that saw it, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It make all the sense.
Salute to the Queen Bee. We had what we had.
Yeah.
It was what it was. It is what it is. It's done.
And it's going to be what it's going to be.
You know?
I think that's the perfect way to end, man. We still got a lot to talk about, bro.
Well, let's pop back on a part
We're going to pop back on a part 2, you know what I'm saying? Because we up against it time-wise. But we're gonna pop back on a part 2 and then a part... However many we gotta take to get the full situation, man. But I just want to tell you that I salute you. I appreciate you. You one of the rare good guys, not only that has achieved certain levels of success and stardom, but one of the rare good guys of a treacherous ass city that we live in, that's cutthroat, that's filled with haters and people that see you doing what you're doing and know all your business and still won't help you and all of that shit. And since we connected on a one-to-one level, you've been nothing but great to me, to my platform, offering me a invite to y'all platform, you and Fred, man, to come on there, talk my talk, expose me to y'all audience, man. And I just want to let you know, both of y'all brothers, I don't take nothing for granted. I appreciate all of it, man. Y'all some great dudes. And I super appreciate having guys like y'all in my life, man, that I can call on for this or that. Or I called you last minute, didn't I? Yo.
Let me tell you this, right? I'm going to leave you with this. My transparency is my reality. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. My transparency is my reality.
And you a real one, bro.
You know what
Straight
I'm saying?
up.
So my whole thing is, I really never was going to talk about the Kim situation at all. I'm still not talking about the Kim situation. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, man, you know. To the next episode.
To the next episode, we definitely gonna have a part 2, man. And you know, give everybody your socials where they can find you, where they can find y'all podcasts and everything like that. Because we want to use this as, you know, a platform. Because this shit you know what we about to do with this. So I want to, you know, do whatever I can, and you know, making sure that all the touch points is there to set, you know, to set everything else up.
I want to say this before I go. Rest in peace to Chops. Rest in peace to Rucky. Rest in peace to Fat G's. Rest in peace to Y&G Cheese. You can find me at Dutchie Man _ on everything. You can follow my podcast. Hey, it was all a dream. Just tap in with a real nigga at the end of the day. I ain't gonna do no capping. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of things happen in Philadelphia where they try to put blanket over top of what's going on.
That's a fact.
These the only blankets we using.
Hermes.
We'll holler at y'all on the next episode. Make sure y'all tap into the Realest podcast, man, where the realest shit happen. We'll holler.
Peace.